Hey guys, Nowing19 here. So with episode 7 out, I thought I'd do a predictions video for episode 8. Let's just theory craft right now what's going to happen in episode 8 before any news about episode 8 is announced. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen episode 7. So here we go, starting with number 5. Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter. A lot of the narrative for episode 7 points toward the fact that Rey is Han and Leia's daughter, but if she was their daughter, don't you think that Han and Leia would have recognized their daughter? Especially Leia. She would have acknowledged her daughter right from the get-go. There could be a possibility that their minds were wiped so that they wouldn't remember they had a daughter, but I highly doubt that. The evidence that supports Rey being Luke's daughter is when Anakin's lightsaber, quote-unquote, calls to her. Because it belonged to a Skywalker, that lightsaber would call to another Skywalker. You could also say that, well, Leia is also a Skywalker, so she still could be Leia's daughter. Just look back at Rey when she was using her powers against Kylo Ren, and when she Jedi mind-tricked James Bond. Remember, Daniel Craig was the actor underneath that Stormtrooper suit in that scene. There's no logical explanation for her to tap into her powers that quickly when she's fighting against Ren. It seems reasonable, but when she Jedi mind-tricks that Stormtrooper, it sort of makes you think that Rey had Jedi training before. So when Ren betrayed Luke and the other Jedi, Luke had to send his daughter away in order for her to be safe. Snoke also wanted Ren to bring Rey to her and said, if what you said is true, then bring her to me. The center focus for the movie was where is Luke Skywalker, so the First Order is hunting him down, and since they come across this girl, who could be Luke's daughter, it adds more to the overall plot of the movie, and pretty much the entire trilogy. Ren even lost his cool when he first learned about Rey. He pulled that officer across the room and asked, what girl? So that shows how important Rey is. She could very much be Luke's daughter. I don't think Luke's going to be left out completely from the film. Han and Leia had their arc about redeeming their son. Luke's mostly going to train Rey into becoming a Jedi, but I feel like he'll have more to add to the narrative of episode 8. So it gives him a better arc than to just be Rey's Jedi master. But if Rey is Luke's daughter, then that puts into question who Rey's mom is. I think that she'll be a random person who passed away or was killed by either Snoke or Ren or something like that. Maybe she died at birth, a la Padme. In the expanded universe, which is no longer canon, Luke had children with Mara Jade Skywalker, who served the Empire and the Emperor but later turned good. I don't think that they'll borrow this idea. In the expanded universe, Han and Leia actually had children too, and one of them turned to the dark side. His name was Jason Solo, not Ben Solo like in episode 7. Luke in the expanded universe had a child named Ben Skywalker. I don't think that J.J. Abrams wanted to make Han and Leia's son evil based on the fact of the expanded universe. There's zero chances that we'll see Mara Jade. We might see Luke marry a Force-sensitive user, but I doubt that. But now into other family theories. Number 4. Finn is Lando Calrissian's son. J.J. Abrams announced back when Finn and Rey's names were released that it was completely intentional that their last names were not provided. So they do have last names, Rey being a Skywalker or a Solo, and Finn could possibly be a Calrissian. So during the film, Finn told Rey that he was taking from his family. That's what the First Order is doing. They're taking children from their families and training them into becoming stormtroopers. That also explains why Han and Leia didn't recognize Finn as Lando's son, because he was taken from his family as a kid and now he's all grown up, so they would have no idea that Finn is Lando's son. Plus, Finn isn't even his real name. Poe called him that based on his designation number, FN21H7. If he was to be called by his real name, then Han and Leia would recognize him as Lando's son. On to number 3. The First Order will get a victory. Think back to episode 5, Vader wanted Luke, but instead we got the reveal that Vader is Luke's dad, plus Han was handed over to the Hutts. I feel like in episode 8, the First Order will get a victory for themselves. Like the Resistance could win, but the First Order is chuckling behind their backs because they think that they've won, but in reality they didn't. The First Order could actually destroy the Resistance. That'd be even better. I feel like episode 8 will be different from episode 5. A lot of people felt that episode 7 was a copy and paste of the plot from episode 4. There's just so many similar themes and ideas going on. I don't think that we'll see a lot of episode 5 in episode 8. The only thing would be that the heroes lose, but hopefully they lose in a big way, because then that makes episode 9 a whole lot more awesome. On to number 2. This one's kind of silly. Snoke is actually really, really small. In episode 7, he was this giant hologram. Just imagine if he was as small as Yoda. That would explain why he was this giant hologram. It's sort of ironic too, because you're the leader of the First Order, the supreme leader of the First Order, so everyone expects you to be really big and really high up, but it turns out that you're really tiny. And my number 1 prediction is that the title of episode 8 will be The Ancient Fear. This was the working title for episode 7, and it is a good thing that they changed it because The Force Awakens fits more appropriately for that movie. Episode 8 is going to feature Luke training Rey, but in comparison, it's also going to feature Snoke completing Kylo Ren's training. So whatever's going on in Episode 8, I feel like it would be more focused on those two characters rather than the conflict between the Resistance and the First Order. So the Ancient Fear could refer to something about the past that could help Kylo Ren complete his training and make him powerful enough to destroy Rey and Luke. So that's it for this video, but here's my question for you guys. What are your predictions for Episode 8? Just leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Out of all my predictions, I feel like the last two, the one about Snoke being really small and the title being Ancient Fear, those ones are the ones that I feel like aren't going to happen. The title for Episode 8 could be different, but the overall plot could be something pretty close to what I predicted. As for Kylo Ren turning to the dark side, probably going to see what turned him over to the dark side in Episode 8. If we don't, then I'd be totally okay without an explanation. But with that explanation, that could be how Rey defeats him. Right now, it seems like Snoke told Ren lies, that the Jedi are evil and the dark side is more powerful than the light. To just think back to when Anakin turned to the dark side. He wanted to save Padme. The only way he could do that is to join the dark side. Palpatine also told Anakin a bunch of lies about the Jedi, so you see my point. So I plan on doing more Star Wars related videos. Be sure to subscribe for those. Right now, I need to get through some review videos for Gotham, The Flash, and Supergirl, so my next Star Wars video will probably post later in the week. There's also a new Deadpool trailer coming out on Christmas Day. I'll do a video for that whenever it posts. So right now you can watch my review for episode 7, and you can watch my breakdown video for the new Batman v Superman trailer. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.